Now, we've all read or seen those stories, how more and more women are breaking records in ultra marathons, such as Jasmine Paris, who earlier in the year won the Montaigne Spine Race in the UK, a 430-kilometre long event that's longer than 10 marathons. It's among the toughest races in the world. So have we seriously underestimated the endurance capabilities of women? Guillaume Millet, a former endurance runner and a university professor here in France, has been studying gender differences in marathons, and he joins me now. Thank you so much for your time, Guillaume. So let me start by asking you, have we significantly underestimated a woman's strength?
I guess so, yes. If you ask me that if I am impressed by what Jasmine did in January, yes, I'm impressed because she beat all men, so that's very impressive. But I am not surprised. I guess most people are, but I'm not surprised that she has been able to finish the race in that time. But I have at least 7 or 8 other names of females that have done the same, like beating all males overall.
What did you actually discover in your research?
We studied the muscle fatigue. So we compare two groups of female and males of similar relative level of performance. And what we found is that the muscle fatigue was actually lower in females compared to males. So one explanation for that is that there are intrinsically more fatigue resistance, but the other possibility, and it's impossible to decide which one is the good one, or maybe a combination of both, is that the women are a bit more conservative, in a sense that they push maybe less. That's an option. We cannot rule out this explanation.
So there are psychological factors that kick in as a result.
It is possible, but when you not in our study, but when you look at the literature, scientific literature, there are other reasons to believe that actually females tend to close the gap between the sex when the distance increases. For instance, they are more able to use fat, which is an advantage in a super long distance. They have a higher percentage of what we call the type 1 muscle fibers, which are the fatigue resistant muscle fibers, and they are also lighter. So because they use more fat and they are lighter, they tend to eat less, and by doing so, they have probably less gastrointestinal distress, and that's also a super important factor in ultramarathons.
Absolutely, and just to point out that Jasmine Paris at the time, 35 years old, and was breastfeeding.
Yeah, I'm actually not impressed by the fact that she spent time and she did that, but it probably means that her body fat was probably quite high by then, and we know that body weight is really a handicap when you run, and that makes her performance even more impressive, I guess.
But we are physically different, aren't we? I mean, men tend to be taller and leaner, thus giving them an edge in many sports.
The question is the gap between sex the same for different events? We can conclude that the females are not less capable than men to run ultramarathon. So which actually asks another question. So why? Maybe this is the next question. I guess maybe the most maybe the most interesting one is why then, if they are as capable as men, why are there so few females at the start? So female participants.
In fact, that's what I was going to ask you. What is stopping women from entering these races, do you think?
I'm an exercise physiologist, and I don't think the answer is in my domain. I believe that psychologists or sociologists should be asked, because I truly believe that this is a social or psychological question.
Just having said that, do you think we should stop gender classification in sports?
No, because as I said, there are so many biological differences that it would be completely unfair for females. Like just talking about endurance performance, females have a lower maximal oxygen uptake because they have less red blood cells. So this is like that. You cannot change that, and they have more body fat. Even like the skinniest females will have a higher percentage body fat, so they are heavier. So it's unfair if we remove the sex categories.
Societies and culture in general needs to rethink the way in which they view women and sport, because I think for a lot of women, they're not encouraged to get out there and participate, are they?
Exactly, and that's why those performances, even if it's pretty rare, it's a very good thing because it shows to women that it is possible, and females are truly able to do those kind of extreme performances, and it's important. It's a good example in my opinion.
Guillaume Millet, thank you.
Thank you.